Good evening, good afternoon, good evening. It's still a little sunny out, so we'll say good afternoon today. I am your host, Shannon Williams Hughes of the See Us podcast, hosted by the Native Justice. That is Rennie on the beat, my daughter. Yeah, I know. She is also here, so welcome. Thank you all for tuning in. Today, we are intended to have a guest who's intended to come on and tell her story about an unfortunate, really negative experience with renting from a property. Unfortunately, like we have not been able to make our schedules work out the way that we had hoped. So I figured I would just come on and tell a little bit about the Good Landlords Review. And so, as you all know, or you may have seen, we've launched a Good Landlords Review sometime early January. The reason why we launched it is because, like, as we know, there is really great landlords who are ethical, like they take care of their properties, they're respectful of their tenants, they look out, they do what they're supposed to do within reason. Not that they have to do anything beyond what's expected of them, but they do what they're supposed to do. On the other side of that is, we have folks who are the complete opposite of that, to the point where it's detrimental and can really turn folks' lives upside down. Now, for the other side of things, there's not a whole lot of resource or support that is desperately needed. And so we figured the Good Landlords Review is a really powerful and impactful way to make sure that not only is there transparency when it comes to housing, but there's also a measure of accountability, right? Like it gives folks a way to navigate where they want to rent from and where they do not by, peer reviews, right? Just like anything else, right? Like we're all, of course, familiar with Yelp, Amazon, and anything else like that you are a consumer of. You're able to review those things pretty much. Why not with housing as well? So the Good Landlords Review is for that very specific intention. And so just as a reminder, if my daughter is on 1, 2, and 3, so here comes my mom to come grab her. Thank you. Goodbye. Anyway, COVID living. Anyway, so now there's been of course there's concerns from landlords regarding like how it functions. Specifically, the concern that has been communicated is like, well, what about tenants who the landlord wasn't bad or anything like that, but they just, they're being malicious, so they posted, that they have the potential to post negative reviews just because they're upset with the landlords. Like I definitely hear that, definitely understand that, and as we know, that does happen, right? Like we do have, on Yelp or Amazon or whatnot, that folks will post malicious reviews, like not really true to what their experiences were, but they were upset, so like that's what they decided to do to try to hurt the producer of whatever the product is. That's a reality. Unfortunately, we can't do too much about that. I know the question has been, are we going to find ways to, weed those folks out? At the moment, quite frankly, the answer is no. And the reason why it's no is because like anything that we would do that I could think of to try to police the malicious reviews would end up hurting the people who are using this the service intentionally and correctly, and that's what I'm just not going to do. The only suggestion I really have is, as a landlord, I would suggest that you encourage your tenants to post reviews, regularly, like constantly encouraging folks to post reviews, because if you are in fact good at what you do, and you do, keep up with your properties and whatnot, then the good will outweigh the bad. So that's the best thing I could do right now. Otherwise, I can't really find anything that's ethical to address those concerns. And quite frankly, like it just doesn't measure up to the need, any impact of, having this as a system. So really quickly, just want to go over the rubric. We did do this before. So as I had explained a little bit in some of the interviews we've done, it's not just like flat out reviews. It's not like, like you post your rating and then your narrative. We have it broken up in a specific way. So there is a rubric involved. That way we can kind of disaggregate the information. So if the problem with the properties is, say, like the maintenance, but everything else is fine, we'll be able to see that. Perhaps the issue is with the landlord themselves, but the place is kept up nice. We'll be able to see that along with some other things. So the way the rubric is broken up, um, it measures ethical application processes, um, fair treatment of tenants and prospective tenants, fair rates, and that's specific to the area, clean properties, safety, communication, responsiveness, maintenance and accessibility, respectful towards tenants, and willingness to work with tenants through rough spots. Now, these are the questions as far as like the rating goes, but there are several other questions on there. Again, like we wanted to be very intentional about this rate and review system. So it's not, like I said, like it's not just you post your rating and then your narrative, because that doesn't tell us a lot of information, and in that way there can be a lot of abuses. But in this way, we're able to like break down, okay, like what are your good experiences, what are your bad experiences, what were your opportunities for access and support and resource, what were there not, and then it gives an opportunity not only for narrative, but also for supporting evidence. Folks have pictures, especially if they've gone through the process of the health department and in court and whatever else. They may have like a little bit more to offer. But again, like the intention being holding this space so that tenants, future and prospective tenants, current tenants know where and how to navigate. If I'm looking for a place, what I don't want to do is get in bed with someone who is a slumlord, quite frankly. But how else do I know that? Well, how you know that now is through the Good Landlords Review. So what I want to do is encourage everyone, if you are a current renter, if you were a previous renter, if you are a prospective renter, what has your experiences been? This is our power, right? Like our narrative, our voices, that is our power. So it's really important that we exercise that, not only for ourselves, but for everyone else around us. There's been some interesting reactions. So, clearly like there's impact here. The reviews so far have been super dope, like very intentional, right? Like very insightful. And you can tell that folks, are taking their time with posting their reviews, right? Like, at the end of the day, everyone wants to be seen, heard, understood, and validated. And we've seen that come through with the reviews so far. What we will be doing is posting new reviews every Sunday. So like as the reviews are coming in, they will be posted every Sunday. The new ones will be added every Sunday. So later on today, you'll see the new reviews go up. So definitely, again, continue to encourage others to post their reviews and do them yourselves. Even if it's a place that you are looking at, right? Like, doesn't mean that you necessarily have to move forward with them or not. But if you've, contacted a landlord, went to view a property, like went through whatever process, you can still review those folks as well. And the reason why I'm saying that is important is because like we have, information that there are some landlords who have taken advantage of the application process itself, with kind of courting folks and making them feel like, oh, they got it in the bag and it's all good. All they have to do is get past this paperwork and this little application fee, but that's it. And once that money is turned in and then the term changes, and all of a sudden there's all of these reasons for why they can't be rented to, and super nasty. We've had so many folks who have come to us who had that same experience. And at first it just seemed like that's just an odd thing. Maybe it's a coincidence, until there was, articles written about it, and that being very much the case. So like, for one, I would definitely look out for properties that are listed for like hundreds and hundreds of days and not being rented, but still being listed. Like that's kind of a red flag right there. But for that reason, we want to make sure that, even if it's a place that you are looking at, what was your experience? Like if it doesn't work out, that's fine. Like everything doesn't have to work out either for you or the landlord, but how were you treated? Was it ethical? Was it fair? Post about those things as well. So that's all I have for today. Like I said, I just wanted to check in since our guest was not able to make our schedules meet the way that we intended. So shout out to her, like definitely keeping her lifted up in her experience. Unfortunately, she had a negative experience, but she'll move forward. So we'll definitely keep her lifted up. So if you have any questions or anything, please definitely reach out. If you have a story yourself, either related to your experience as a tenant or anything else that your experience as a human being, as a person that you want to tell the rest of us, like definitely reach out. Otherwise, we will see y'all next week.